special report on UFOs. As Luke Moretti tells us, UFO sightings occur around the globe and right here in Western New York.
Yeah, and many of those sightings are tracked and investigated by civilian organizations. Tonight we meet some folks who saw something in the night sky and can't explain it. Both cases were examined by UFO investigators who deal with these situations all the time. May 5th, 9:05 p.m., West Seneca, New York.
This was very unusual.
Something in the night sky caught Gene Gonzalez's attention.
A red, round light. It stopped, dead stop, and it turned green.
He quickly summoned his wife, Sue.
I was like, oh my goodness.
To come outside and see it.
So you couldn't watch it travel. It just moved and was in a different location.
What did it look like to you? Just like a circle?
It was a circle.
They reported the case to the Mutual UFO Network, known as MUFON, which collects sighting reports from the public.
Both very credible people.
Retired New York State Police Captain Jack Fay is a MUFON field investigator assigned to the case.
Most people are decent people, and they just seen something that they don't understand, and that's what we're here for. Mostly my job, a lot of times with this and the paranormal, is to try to explain to people, well, look, maybe this is what you're seeing. I mean, I'm not telling you what you're seeing, but it could be something like this or this instead of extraterrestrial. That's the last place we want to look.
June 5th, 9:21 p.m., Ovid, New York, the Finger Lakes region.
It was huge.
David Reynolds sees something in the night sky from his front porch.
And it was between that telephone pole and that tree.
He calls his wife Trish outside.
She was extremely surprised.
Using a smartphone camera, she takes 3 quick photographs.
The distances between the lights never changed through the whole thing. They always remained the same.
They say the triangular light formation seen in these photos changed from orangish red to a white color. And that's when Trish says she went from being a UFO skeptic to a believer.
It really had turned me around 100%. You know, I'm a firm believer now. Definitely.
Buffalo area MUFON field investigator John Lombardo, an Air Force veteran who spent 30 years in law enforcement, is assigned to the case.
These people obviously photographed something highly unusual. The air around the lights themselves seemed to have that ripple effect as they were changing from the reddish orange to the white.
Trish says had she not seen the object with her own eyes, she would have never believed it.
Yeah, I saw it, so he's not cuckoo.
David, a retired state corrections worker, estimates the size of the object was anywhere from 500 feet to 1,000 feet.
I don't know what they were, but I do know what they weren't. They weren't anything I've ever seen before.
Both say the event lasted about 3 minutes before the object disappeared.
As it was going this way, it went like this and gone. It disappeared like that. And
you saw that too?
Yeah.
According to MUFON, just in the month of May, there were 900 sightings from around the world, most from the United States. 84 of the sightings were listed as a triangle. 19 reported seeing a boomerang shape.
Everything we look at, we're going to look at it scientifically.
Cassidy Nicholas is a Western New York-based MUFON archivist and field investigator.
Nothing.
Who appears on the History Channel's Hangar 1, The UFO Files.
Anything that you look up in the sky and you don't know what it is, it's unidentified to you, so therefore it's a UFO. That doesn't mean it's full of little green men.
MUFON has different classifications ranging from unknown to identified, man-made or natural, or a hoax. Some say as few as 5% of aerial sightings fall into the unknown category.
All we want to figure out is what it is, and hopefully where it came from, and track it and learn from these.
Jack Fay classified the West Seneca case in May, seen by Gene and Sue Gonzalez, as an IFO, identified flying object, likely man-made.
I didn't get the feeling of anything extraterrestrial.
Right. What do you think? I mean, what do you think it could have been? Just no way of knowing?
I don't know. Definitely a unidentified light.
Right.
Right. But definitely not a spotlight, not a helicopter, not a blimp, not a plane. So I really don't know what it could be.
And what about the case of the triangular lights witnessed by David and Trish Reynolds of the Finger Lakes region?
It's very rare that you find a photograph like these where it was zero magnification and quite well done.
This is a good one.
This is a good one. This is a very good one.
Now, the folks at MoveOn analyzed the photographs taken by Trish Reynolds. They found no evidence of manipulation, no evidence to suggest that the lights were attached to any main body, but instead were 4 separate point sources of light. Now, MoveOn's conclusion on this, the lights appear to be entirely consistent with sky lanterns. Have you ever seen those? They use them at weddings and things like that.
Yeah.
They light them up, they float in the sky and those sorts of things.
That's what they
And they
think.
have different colors, so that's kind of what they're saying.
Well, I'm kind of curious, Luke, what does Trish and David have to say about this conclusion?
I talked to David by phone, and he reiterated once again, he said, look, I have never seen anything like this in my life. I don't know what those lights were, but he doubts that those lights were sky lanterns.
It's an urban legend that continues to grow year after year in one community. Strange lights, mysterious sightings, but very few answers.
All the uncertainty adds up to one popular explanation. It must be UFOs. TV5's Nick Lully has this I-Team report.
I was just totally amazed at what is this?
Looking up in the sky over Mid-Michigan on a clear night, you can see all kinds of stars. But what if you saw something that defied explanation?
Is anybody else watching this?
Viewers contacted us on Facebook saying they've been looking in the night sky near Hemlock and they've been seeing some strange lights, so we decided to come out and hear for ourselves about what they've been seeing. Witness after witness describe what's now been dubbed the Hemlock Lights.
You know, if you're just looking with the naked eye, just kind of like they're twinkling.
I heard like a little bit of like a motor sounded like something like off in the distance.
It just kind of hovers there, stays in one spot.
It's really bright, white, and webbed.
And it's not the first weird incident in Hemlock. October 2002, these fields were abundant with that year's corn crop ready for harvest. But something was amiss. In this video from TV5 Archives, our cameras captured crop circles in the fields at the Turner farm near Hemlock.
And I went and called the police because it's too weird to, you don't see things like this in the field.
Witnesses often report strange lights and humming sounds before these circles appear. Michael Graham lives on the neighboring homestead and remembers the incident well.
A lot of people went down there and saw it because it's a big thing. I mean, Hemlock's not that big.
As it turns out, Graham has seen the Hemlock lights too, as recently as this past May.
Every time you take a trip somewhere, different spots all over the place.
So what do you think it is?
UFO.
But who investigates these lights and what the heck are they? The I-Team has obtained recently declassified documents from the United States Air Force, part of the once fabled Project Blue Book, some more than half a century old. They reveal that more than a dozen eyewitnesses have stepped forward citing mysterious lights like those in Hemlock since the 1950s. In 1956, a volleyball-sized light, red changing to pink, spotted in Aranac County. Also in 56, a spherical orange object spotted in the skies above Saginaw. In 1964, red and silver lights appearing, then disappearing over Genesee County. Some reports more compelling than others, like this one in Clare County. In 1956, a commercial airline pilot reports 6 white lights in formation, which then disappeared by fading, saying in the report he filed, they were definitely being flown by someone with intelligence. So what are the lights and where do they come from? The explanation could be out of this world, but not necessarily unexplainable.
Well, based on what is known about the sky and the solar system, I would predict that it's planet Venus.
William Mitchell is with the Delta College Planetarium in Bay City and puts on shows every day teaching people what's up in the night sky. He feels many reports of strange lights off towards the west and northwest could be sightings of the second planet from the sun.
It can catch you off guard and surprise you. And you wonder what it is, what's out there. Because it's stationary in the sky, at least in the short term, you don't notice any motion to it. It seems like it hovers.
But if it's not Venus?
Beyond that, who knows what's out there?
As for what the witnesses in Hemlock think it is, it depends on who you ask.
I believe in aliens.
So I think this is some type of man-made apparatus that's they're doing something, and we just don't know what it is.
I don't think you should feel threatened, but they're just curious like we are with them.
With this I-Team report, Nick Lully, WNEM TV 5.
So I guess the mystery continues.
It does continue.
All right.